Dear student, I am Mr. S.N. Jha. I teach in the NGM Public School. Today I will teach you about science. Some terms related with electricity I will teach today. First you try to know what is electricity. Electricity is that branch of physics in which we study about some electrical effect and electric current and some devices that is related with electricity. First you try to know how many terms are related with electricity. You will start first charge. What is charge? How charge is produced? How many types of charges are found? So first of all, you try to know what is a charge. Charge is that physical quantity which covers some electrical or magnetic field around it and which produces some magnetic field around it. Magnetic field means some magnetic substances like iron, cobalt or nickel. All these are electrical or magnetic substances. Magnetic substances means it is always attracted by electricity. And so first of all Oersted, the great scientist, he told that the magnetic effect that is produced, that is originated by electric current. And you can understand by a simple experiment that when you will put some needle of iron that is made by iron, when you will put near any electrical field or near that type of conductor through which electricity or electric current is producing, electric current is passing through it, and it produces some magnetic field around it, and those iron nails that will be attracted by that electrical or magnetic field created by that electric current that is already flowing through a conductor. So we already understand about that when a magnetic an electric current is producing that is flowing through a conducting wire, that produces some magnetic field around it, and due to this some nails made by iron already attracted towards it. It means that iron is magnetic substance. Magnetic substances are those substances which are already attracted by electric current. And there are three types of magnetic substances. First is iron, second is cobalt, and third is nickel. All these three elements are magnetic. So charges are those which give some magnetic field around it. And we can divide how many kinds of charges are found. There are two types of charges are found. You already know that these two types of charges are positive charge and negative charge. Then you try to confirm here that what is positive charge, what is negative charge, and how these charges are produced. First of all, you try to know all the elements known up to this date. We know about 118 elements are already discovered now, and all these elements are divided into three parts: metal, non-metal, and metalloids. All the metals, metal, non-metal, and metalloid. Metals, non-metals, metalloid. These are three categories of elements, and elements are divided according to their properties in three parts: metals, non-metals, and metalloids. All the metals are those which have free electrons in their outermost orbit. You already know in the structure of any element, of any atom, atoms contain proton, neutron, and electron. Proton is denoted by P, neutron is denoted by N, electron is denoted by E. Proton is already positively charged, electrons are already negatively charged, and neutrons are already chargeless. So in the electronic configuration, we already know in the metals, in the structure of metals, in the outermost orbit already 1, 2 or 3 electrons are found. And these electrons are not tightly bounded by their nucleus. So they are known as free electrons and they can easily lose their electrons. They can easily lose their electrons, and after losing these electrons, they attain positively charged. One is positively charged, and when it will lose 2 electrons, it will gain 2 positive charges, and when it will lose 3 electrons, it will gain 3 positive charges. In this way you can explain metals, and all the metals have free electrons, and due to these free electrons they are good conductor of electricity. And second thing is that how current is produced. The device which produces current is known as a cell. The combination of cell, you know that a battery, it forms a battery. But we will explain first of all how current is produced. So for the production of current, it is necessary to know about the structure of a cell. A cell is that type of device, device which produces some current, and current is produced. So in the structure of a cell you can see two types of electrodes are found. These electrodes are made by, already I have written here electrode, the definition of electrode. Electrodes are two metallic rods dipped inside in a solution. That solution is also a solution of electrovalent compound. Electrovalent compound, as like electrovalent compounds means electrovalent compound. First you try to know what are electrovalent compounds. Electrovalent compounds. Electrovalent compounds are those which give some ionic product when they dissolve in the solution. In their solution state, they can they can be converted into ionic form, and when it forms ionic form, when it is converted into ionic form, then it will become a good conductor of electricity. So in a cell, two types of rod, one is more electropositive character and one has more electronegative character. And suppose there are two types of rod, copper and zinc. Here copper shows some more electropositive character, and zinc shows some more electronegative character. So the more electronegative character showing metal, that is known as cathode, and electropositive metal that shows electropositivity character, we can say that is anode. In this way, the electrodes are divided into two parts, anodes and cathode. One is anode and one is cathode, and inside the cell one solution is already present. That solution is known as electrolyte, and this electrolyte that is found in the cell in solution state, and that is a solution of ionic compound. As for example, we can take here copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is electrovalent compound. We can take also H2SO4. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid and copper sulfate, any one you can take here in the solution state. And when this solution divides, when this solution after connecting cathode and anode both with a conducting wire. Conducting wire means that is made by any type of conducting metal, as like copper. that is made by copper wire, or that is made by aluminum wire. So here copper wire is more electroconductive, and it shows more electroconductivity than your aluminum wire. So we choose copper wire, and when these two anodes and cathodes both are connected with that copper wire, then electrons start flowing. Then you can try to understand here how electricity is produced and how electrons are produced here. When we connect anode and cathode with a conducting wire, that is copper wire, then that electrolyte, that is a solution of copper sulfate or any type of electrovalent compound solution, a solution made by electrovalent compound as like copper sulfate, or any type of acid, just like H2SO4. H2SO4 means sulfuric acid. Then it will dissociate into two parts. And for example, copper sulfate is dissociated into two parts, copper ion and sulfate ion. Copper ion means copper is found into two forms, Cu plus or Cu plus plus. It means two types of charges, one containing one positive charge and one containing two positive charges. We already know copper is found in two forms, cuprous and cupric. Cuprous means that contains only one positive charge, and cupric means that contains only two positive charges. And for two positive, here copper sulfate, in the copper sulfate its valency is 2, because sulfate contains 2 minus charges. So sulfur is sulfate is divalent here. So copper also contains plus 2 charges and Cu plus plus, and it is known as the positive charges are known as cations, because they move towards cathode. They move towards cathode, and the SO4, that is sulfate, it contains plus minus 2 charges. The minus 2 charges, that is already known as anions. Anions means they already move towards the anode. And when copper ion, copper Cu plus plus ion, when it will move towards cathode, then this copper ion releases 2 electrons, and due to loss of 2 electrons it attains a charge of plus 2, and these 2 electrons accumulate on the cathode. In this way a lot of electrons are collecting around the cathode, and since cathode and anode both are connected with a conducting wire by the copper wire, then these electrons move from cathode to anode. These electrons move from cathode to electron. So here actual thing is that electrons are moving from cathode to anode, and in the conventional means in the reverse direction electric current is produced. So you can imagine here electric current is produced, and that flows from anode to cathode, but the actual path of electrons are from cathode to anode, and the conventional current will flow from anode to cathode. And you must clear here how electric current is produced. First try to know that the flow of electrons and the way of electrons are from cathode to anode, and conventional current is produced from anode to cathode. In this way you can define electric charge, you can define electric current, and time taken also. Electric current means flow of charges per second. When you are considering that the unit of time is second, then in 1 second how many electrons are flowing from cathode to anode and how electrical charges flow. So you can define that Q by T. Q by T means Q is a symbol of charge and T is a symbol of time, and when you will divide this Q, this amount of charge means that is denoted by Q, and when it will be divided by a small t means time period, how much electrical charges are flowing per second, that constitute your current, and current is symbolized by a symbol I. So we have got a formula I is equal to Q by T, and you can rearrange this formula again also. Q will be equal to IT. Q will be equal to IT, and this is the first formula in your electricity. Q is equal to IT, where Q is the symbol of charge, I is the symbol of current, and T is the symbol of time. Then you can consider here that what will be the unit. Unit is very necessary for any physical quantity. When you are going to measuring any physical quantity, first of all keep it in your mind that what will be its unit. So unit, the SI unit is popular in the whole world, and that is known as International System of Unit. And in SI form, the unit of Q, the unit of charge will be Coulomb. The unit of charge will be Coulomb. Q is denoted by Coulomb. And the SI unit of I means current, and current, the unit of current, the unit of electric current, the unit of electric current will be ampere. The unit of electric current will be ampere. So we can define here Q is denoted by Coulomb and I is denoted by ampere, and you already know the unit of time is second. So you can define electric current as Coulomb per second. Coulomb per second, and you can write here ampere. Ampere will be equal to Coulomb. Coulomb per second. So ampere is defined here, Coulomb per second. Coulomb is the unit of charge, and second is the unit of time. And in another way you can think like that, the actual movement of electrons that constitute electric current. So you can say the number of current, the number of electrons, the number of electrons will be denoted by N. The number of electrons will be denoted by N, and charge on one electron, that is denoted by E. E means charge on one electron, and that is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 Coulomb. So charge is denoted charge on one electron is denoted by 1.6. The quantity of that charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 Coulomb, and it is denoted by E, and number of electrons it is denoted by a small e, and we already know here by our experiment that the number of electrons that is already flowing through the conducting wire, that is denoted by N. So the total number of electrical charges, electronic charges here will be N into E. So we can write here Q barabar N into E. Q is equal to N into E, where N is the number of electrons, and on one electron the charge will be denoted by E. And when we multiply these two quantities N into E, then we can get total charges found that is flowing through the conducting wire. And so we can calculate the charge as N into E. This is the actual charge that is flowing through the conducting wire. So we have got two types of formulas. I is equal to Q by T, and here also Q is equal to NE. And you can rearrange these two formulas also. On the place of Q, you can put NE also. So you will get I will be equal to NE by T. This is the third formula. This is the third formula, and that comes by rearranging these two formulas. Here first formula is Q is equal to N into E, and here the second formula is I is equal to Q by T. In this way you can calculate the current flowing through the conducting wire, and we can define already that that current producing from anode to cathode, that can be calculated by the amount of actual charges that is divided by the time period on which that current is flowing. So I barabar Q by T, and number of electrons, one electrons contain 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, and it is multiplied by N, then we can get Q is equal to Ne. In this way, three formulas we have got here, and you already have understand that what is the definition of electrolyte, what is the definition of anode, what is the definition of cathode, electrode. These are definitional terms, and how electricity is produced. In this way you can explain the definition of electricity, the definition of charge, the definition of current. The definition of current can be defined in two ways. First, in the form of total charge per second, and secondly by putting Q is equal to Ne in the place of Q, you can put here Ne. In this way electric current is produced. Then one simple example is here, how electricity is produced. The question arises here, how electricity is produced. The simple way of defining this term, first you arrange, first you give a full structure of a cell by connecting anode and cathode, and you can adjust the production of electricity. Second thing is that now I am going to erase it, and you become ready for the second thing. Second thing is here that there are three terms that is already popular in electricity. These three terms are current, potential difference, and resistance. There are three terms that is very popular in electricity. First is electric current. First is electric current. Electric current is already denoted by I. And second thing is that potential. What do you mean by potential? You already know about the electric current. Electric current is already defined here, already explained here by the structure of a cell. One another thing, that is potential. This is the new term, and it is necessary for you to know about potential. What do you mean by potential? Suppose there is a charge. In electricity, we consider only the positive charge. Although it is given charges are divided into two parts, one is positive and one is negative. But when we are going to explain any term, when we are going to explain any topic, we only consider about the positive charges. Positive charges means plus charge. Suppose there is a plus charge, and that is put in our space, in our surrounding, at any place, at any point, then certainly it will give some effect. That effect is known as magnetic field. So one magnetic field will be created around this positive charge, and the strength of that magnetic field or electrical field that is already produced by positive charges, that will depend upon the strength of that positive charge. How much positive charge, how much charges are accumulated here, and that accumulation of charge can produce a weak field or a strong field. Here two types of field will produce a strong field, and one is weak field. What is weak field? How can you define and how can you differentiate between a strong field and weak field? Weak field means that produces some weak electrical attraction or weak magnetic attraction, and that doesn't show a strong magnetic field. A strong magnetic field, it can extract, it can surrounding a lot of distance around it. Suppose it is producing a magnetic effect up to a longer distance, then you can say this positive charge is stronger than the another. And in that magnetic field, in that electrical field, suppose there is a point P. Suppose there is a point P, and that point P is situated in the magnetic field or electrical field that is already originated by that positive charge, and by that positive charge we can consider one point. That point is known as, we can symbolize it by P. So one P point is present, and when you will move a unit positive charge, here one term is given, unit positive charge. Unit positive charge means that type of positive charge which valued by 1, that is equal to 1, that is known as unit positive charge. When you will move unit positive charge from infinity to that point. What do you mean by infinity? Infinity. We do not know up to what length that charge is producing some effect, up to what length that charge is producing some effect. So that is already infinity, that is already unknown. So from unknown or from that infinity, when unit positive charge is moved towards the P point, and when it will reach up to P point, some works are done here. Some works are already done here, and you can comparize it by another example. Another example is that suppose water is running in a river, and when water is running in a river, and when you will swim along with the current of water, no work will be done by you. And when you will try to swim against the current of the water, some works will be done by your hand or feet. Such like that, here also positive charge means all the magnetic lines of force, they are originating from this charge, and they will go outwardly. They will go outwardly like this, and when you will move one positive charge from inside to outside, no work will be done. And when you are considering that one positive charge is moving from infinity to this point, then certainly that unit positive charge is moving from infinity towards that P point. And when that unit positive charge will move from infinity towards that point, then certainly work will be done here. And when work will be done here, and suppose the quantity of charge is q, charge is denoted by here as q, and work done is denoted by w. Work done is denoted by w because the first letter of work is w, so work should be denoted by w, and charge is denoted by q. And if you are going to say that potential is denoted by v, then v will be equal to work done by q. Work done by q. Suppose there is a charge q that is already situated here, and work done. Work done means that unit positive charge. We have already explained about unit positive charge. This unit positive charge is moving against the direction of magnetic lines of forces. Against the direction of magnetic lines of forces. Then you can ask some question also. What is magnetic lines of forces? How you will define magnetic lines of forces? What are magnetic lines of forces? According to the scientist, when we consider about a magnetic field and electrical field, according to the scientist, they are made by some imaginary line. You know already imaginary line. Imaginary lines. You already know about imaginary lines. That is already imaginary. Imaginary means actually they do not exist here. Actually they do not exist here. So we can say and we can signify it as imaginary line. Imagine. We are already imagine here. So these lines are known as imaginary line, and these lines are already parallel to each other. Parallel to each other means they do not meet at any point. So they are known as parallel lines. And these parallel lines are in the direction from inside to outward. From inside to outward. And when we are moving against these imaginary lines, these magnetic lines of force, then you can see here some works are done. Some works are done as like that current of water. When we will move, when we will swim against the current of water, then work will be done by your hand and feet against the current of water. And similarly, when any unit positive charge will move from infinity towards that charge, and from infinity or against those magnetic lines of forces, then certainly some work will be done. And that work will be done, amount of work done, when it is divided to the charge, then you can say the work done per unit charge. It is known as work done per unit charge. Per unit charge. Work done per unit charge. Per unit charge means the value of charge will be equal to 1. That is not equal to 0. That will be equal to 1. And when you will divide the work done, total work done with the total charges, then that quantity will be equal to the potential. So potential is defined as work done per unit charges. Work done per unit charges, and it will be written in the equation form. V is equal to W by Q, and the unit of V will be volt. Volt is denoted as a unit of V. V means potential, so the unit of potential will be volt. And the unit of work done, what do you mean by work done? The unit of work done. The unit of work done we can say what is work done. So the unit of work done will be joule. Joule is the unit of work done, because work is always equal to the energy produced. Both work and both energy, work and energy, both are denoted by joule. How many joules work are done by this movement of unit positive charge? And you already know that unit of charge is equal to coulomb. So volt will be equal to, you can write here, volt will be equal to joule per coulomb. In the form of unit, you can write here volt is equal to joule by coulomb, and in the symbolic form, in the equational form, you can write here V is equal to W by Q, and the unit of W will be equal to joule, the unit of Q will be equal to coulomb, and unit of volt, unit of V will be equal to volt. So these three physical quantities, current and potential and resistance. The third term is resistance. The third term is resistance. What do you mean by resistance? And how can you define a resistance? Suppose current is flowing through a conducting wire. Suppose current is flowing through a conducting wire, and you already know that any type of conducting wire that is made by atoms or molecules, that is a combination of metals and metallic atoms and molecules. You already know about this. And that substance, due to that substance, some resistance is offered. Resistance means opposition. Resistance means opposition. Opposition that is offered by the material of the conducting wire in the way of the current, and that opposition that is already opposed by the current, that is already opposed by the material of the conducting wire, that is known as resistance. And so resistance is denoted by R. Resistance is denoted by R. Electric current is denoted by I, and potential is denoted by V. And there are some rule regulations, there are some relations between potential, between electric current, and between resistance. And these three physical quantities also combined, also related with each other, and this type of relationship was first of all given by Ohm. First of all, that was given by Ohm. The full name of this scientist was Georg Simon Ohm. Georg Simon Ohm. He was the first scientist to give a relation among potential, electric current, and resistance. These three types of physical quantity you already know. I have already explained about the electric current, how it is produced, and what will be the symbol and what will be the unit of current. And you already know about potential, how potential you can define, and what is a resistance. All these three physical quantities are very important with each other, and these physical quantities are related with each other, and this type of relationship was given by Georg Simon Ohm. He was the famous scientist, and he had given a famous relation among potential, among electric current and resistance. And by this relation, you can simply define and simply give a clear relation among these three physical quantities. This relation is already related like this. Already related like this. One is current, one is resistance, and another is potential difference. Potential. Suppose there is a current which is flowing through a conducting wire. Suppose there is a current which is conducting through a conducting wire, and that current is denoted by I, and the resistance offered by the substance, by the material, by the atom, by the molecule by which that conducting wire is made. So it offered some type of resistance, some type of resistance against the flow of the current. And all these physical quantities is related like this. Suppose you are going to define when current is flowing from a point A up to a point B. Suppose these 2 points are 2 parts of the electric conductor, and that conducting wire, and that current is flowing from point A to point B. And we can also define here, we can also put here that electric potential at the point A is denoted by VA. You can put here VA like this, V and A you can put here suffix as a suffix, and here also you can put VB. These 2 types of potential are given for the point A and for the point B. And suppose you are going to make a relationship, you are going to calculate the difference. What will be the difference of potential between the point A and B? Then you can see VB minus VA. This is the potential difference, and this potential difference will be directly proportional to the current flowing. This potential difference is directly proportional to the current flowing I. The current flow that is flowing through the wire is denoted by I, and the potential difference between the point A and B, it is written as VB minus VA. This VB minus VA is directly proportional to I, and this symbol is known as symbol of proportionality. This symbol is known as symbol of proportionality. And when you will put when we will put equality, then we will write here some type of constant, and here constant given by the ohm, that is symbolized as resistance. The first letter of resistance is R, and so we can write here that constant term as R, because when we replace proportionality, this symbol of proportionality into equality, then according to the rule of proportion, you will put some constant term here, and here we can imagine, we can think that is resistance that is offered by the material of the wire, and that is symbolized by the first letter of resistance R. So we can write here VB minus VA is proportional to R, is equal to RI, and we again rearrange this relationship as V is equal to RI, and this formula is known as, already known as Ohm's law, according to the name of George Simon Ohm, and in the respect of him, reverently we will put here Ohm's law, because this law was given by George Simon Ohm. So this famous rule was named as Ohm's law, and we can know, we can rearrange this formula in another form also. If V is equal to Ri, then you can write also I is equal to V by R. I is equal to V by R. This is the second formula. And in this way, we can see here when potential difference increases, when the amount of volt is increases, the amount of current will also increase. The meaning of proportionality means proportionality is divided into two parts. One is directly proportional, one is indirectly proportional. Directly proportional means when one quantity is increasing or decreasing, then another quantity will also increase or decrease. This is known as directly proportional. And when we are going to explain about indirectly proportional, indirectly proportional means one is increasing, then another is decreasing. One will go in reverse order. Reverse order means one is increasing, then another. So here directly proportional, this signification is given only for directly proportional. It means when volt and potential difference is increased, the amount of current will be also increased. And when we will convert or replace this proportionality into equality, then you can write V is equal to Ri. And you can also rearrange it. R is equal to V by I. R is equal to V R. Then we have got three types of relation. V is equal to Ri, I is equal to V by R, and R is equal to V by I. So, in the form of W, W means work done. W means work done. So, when we will put the potential difference means difference of potential between 2 points. And when we will multiply this term with Q, as it is already discussed earlier that you have earlierly discussed as V is equal to W by Q. In the earlier explanation you have already seen V is equal to W by R. V is equal to W by R. So W by R, V is in volt, W is in joule, and R is into W by Q. W by Q. Q means coulomb. So you can write here volt will be equal to joule per coulomb. And when you are going to rearrange this, then this Q will go in the another side, and you can write like this: V will be equal to W will be equal to V into Q. So this W will be equal to V into Q. V means volt and Q means coulomb. When volt and coulomb, volt means the potential difference between 2 points of any wire. Any wire means through which electric current is flowing. Then in this sense, and if you are wanting to calculate the work done by this current which is flowing through a conducting wire, then you first calculate the what is the potential difference between these 2 points and how much charge is flowing through it. If charge is denoted by Q and the potential difference is denoted by V, then you can multiply V and Q both with each other. So here one equation is found: W is equal to VQ. W means work done. Work done will be equal to volt into coulomb, and volt means the potential difference between any 2 points, and Q is the charge which is flowing through the wire. So you can write here V is equal to Q. Complete this, and we can write Q. Q means IT. You can write here Q is equal to IT. Then here one equation you can get QIT, and you can convert V, you can convert I, and in this way you can calculate the work done by the current flowing through the wire. That's it.